Welcome back to my channel, In the Kitchen Rolling with BJ. Today we're going to do two hot little items because I want to do a quick little meal for my honey. So, therefore, we're going to get started. We're going to do some Parmesan chicken wings, party wings, and some roasted red potatoes, onion, and garlic. So, we're going to start with this chicken. I washed the chicken really good. The only seasoning that I'm going to use is a teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of pepper. And I'm going to mix that up together. I don't have my rubber gloves today, you guys. I'm sorry. Okay, and this is a teaspoon of garlic powder. That's the only seasoning we're using. Okay, and for the sauce, we're going to use chopped, diced, fresh garlic, 4 tablespoons of butter, some parsley flakes, and some Parmesan cheese. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm going to mix this, you know, it's awkward holding this camera. But anyway, I'm going to mix this salt and pepper up together. And then I'm going to mix it in this bowl with the chicken. Then I'm going to sprinkle this garlic powder in there and mix it up with my hands. My hands are clean. I don't have my rubber gloves. I wish I did, but I don't. So I'm going to season the chicken and I'll be right back. Okay, so what I did was I just sprinkled the salt and pepper in here and the garlic powder. And I'm taking a spoon and I'm just mixing it around so that it can get all over all the chicken. And this is 16 pieces. Okay, so I did a lot of mixing off camera. Now I'm going to lay it on the pan. And then we're going to put it in the oven. I preheated the oven. Today I'm using a gas oven, so I put it on 400. If I was using an electric oven, it would be on 365 or 375. But today it's a gas oven. So gas oven, 400. We're going to let this chicken cook on each side for about 25 minutes. I'll be right back once I put it in the pan. Okay, there's the chicken on the pan. This is a Princess House dish. And it's really good for cooking stuff like this on it because it's not real deep. So we're going to put these chicken wings, these party wings, in the oven for, like I said, 25 minutes. In about 20 to 25 minutes, I'm going to check them and turn them over. And while those are in the oven, we're going to get started on these potatoes. Before we get started on the potatoes, I just want to show you guys. Okay, so I put my 4 tablespoons of butter in the pan. And I'm going to let it get hot. I'm going to put it on a low fire in about 10 minutes. And just keep it on low. I'm mixing the garlic in the pan as well. So we just want to warm up the butter and the garlic. And I'm going to put them on really low. And we're just going to keep an eye on it. Just wait until the butter soften up. And we're going to let that garlic just simmer into that butter. And we're going to do the potatoes while that's simmering. Okay, now for these potatoes. I washed the potatoes. They just the little baby red potatoes. Nothing fancy. So, I washed them. And now I got a Ziploc bag here. I'm going to put them off in this Ziploc bag. And I'm going to pour some Wesson oil, about a cap or a cap and a half of Wesson oil, vegetable oil, in the bag with the potatoes. I have some chopped onion and garlic, fresh onion. I just chopped it all up. I'm going to mix that in the bag with the potatoes. And I'm just going to massage it and let the oil get all over the potatoes. And then I'm going to put them in the pan. I'm going to cut them in half. And then I'm going to put my seasoning on them. So the seasoning we're going to use is, again, a little salt and a little pepper. And it's to your liking. I don't have a lot of pepper and a lot of salt. It may look like it, but it's really not. It's really not at all. So I'm just going to mix that together. And I may not even put all of this on there. And this is the garlic powder. So it's about a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Less than a half a teaspoon of pepper, and less than a half a teaspoon of salt. Just regular salt. You could use seasoning salt if you want to, or whatever seasonings you like. Okay, and then after we put them in the pan, we're going to sprinkle some parsley flakes on top of them. So I'll be back after I put the potatoes in the bag with the oil and the onion and garlic. Be right back. Okay, I have my potatoes in the bag. My onion and garlic. Just going to dump that off in there. Now I'm going to add the vegetable oil, and I'm going to seal the bag, and I'm going to just massage and let the oil get all over everything. Okay, and I'll be right back. I'll show you. Here I have the vegetable oil in there. I put a full cap, and less than a half. So 1 full cap and then less than a half. So I started massaging it already. So I'm just going to seal the bag up and massage it. And I'm going to probably let it sit for about maybe 10 minutes. And then I'm going to put it in a pan and put it in the oven right beside the chicken. So I'm just going to massage it. Give me a second. I'm going to see, can I fix the camera where you can see. Okay, so the bag is sealed. And I'm just massaging it, everything, so everything could get the oil on it, the vegetable oil. And then, like I said, I'm going to probably let it sit for about 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. And then I'm going to put it all in the pan. Just going to dump it off in the pan. And we're going to put it in the oven. Okay? I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes. So now I'm just going to pour everything off in the pan. And don't worry, I'm going to scrape all that out. I'm going to get a spoon and scrape that out. Okay, so I'm going to get a knife. And I'm just going to cut these in half. The bigger ones, I'm probably going to cut them in 3s. And the smaller ones, I'm going to just cut them in half. So I'm going to finish cutting these off camera, and then I'll be back so you can take a look at it. I'll be right back. Okay, I got all my potatoes cut up the way I want them. So I cut them about this size. And I just mix my onions and my potatoes and my garlic up. Just stir it around. And now I'm going to add the seasoning. Which, like I said, I probably won't use all of this. I'm just going to sprinkle it on my hands and my fingers. Okay, that was the salt and pepper. I'm going to put a little salt on my hands. with no pepper. Okay, not a lot. And then I'm going to take the garlic powder and do the same thing. Just sprinkle it on there. Because if it's not enough, you can always help yourself to the seasonings after it's done. And put as much as you like. So I'm just going to mix that around just a little bit. Ooh, I want to eat some of these right now, and they ain't even done yet. Oh. And you guys, y'all can't smell it, but oh my gosh. Woo. Making me hungry. Okay, what I'm doing is still sprinkling garlic powder, okay? Now, I'm going to sprinkle some parsley flakes. Just to give it some color. I love parsley flakes. I love garlic. I love onion. And I think you guys probably know that by now. Okay, that's enough. Okay. Now, this is ready for the oven. I'm going to check the chicken. And I'm going to put this in. I'm going to put these potatoes in uncovered. And I'm going to leave them in there for maybe about 15 minutes. And then we'll come back and check on them. Okay? I'll be right back. The chicken, I took it out. It's been about 25 minutes. I turned it over. And some of them was sticking. So, I guess this pan, we probably should have sprayed it with Pam before we put the chicken in here. So, trial and error, that's okay. Next time we'll know. So, if you're going to do this chicken, use some non-stick aluminum foil and put in your pan before you lay your chicken in it. Or use some Pam spray and spray your pan before you put your chicken in it. Only so your chicken won't stick, because you want to keep the crispy, the crunchy part from sticking to the pan. I've already started, so I'm going to finish this out. I'm going to put it back in, and you know what? I probably should cut the fire down a little bit. So I'm going to take it down to about 350, because every oven is different. So I'm going to take it down to 350 for the next 25 minutes. The potatoes are already in the oven. And we're going to put this chicken back in the oven for 25 minutes on 350. I'll be back. Okay. The potatoes been in for about maybe 20 minutes. So I'm just going to stir them around. And then I'm going to take the fork. Okay, so it go in nicely. So this is after 20 minutes. So I'm going to take these out and I'm going to stir them around, and I'm going to check several of them to stick the fork in. See how well the fork go in. And I'll probably take these out and cover them up and let them just cook outside the oven for the remainder of the time. So again, they've been in the oven for about 20 minutes. To me, they need a little more seasoning, and I'm going to put a little more seasoning on them, and I'll probably put a little butter on them, a little melted butter. And then I'm going to cover them up with aluminum foil and leave them in the oven for about 5 more minutes. And then I'm going to take them out. So I'm going to put a little more seasoning and a little butter. And I'm going to cover them up 5 minutes in the oven. I wanted you to see how I'm doing this. So I poured a little melted butter on them and sprinkled a little seasoning. So now I'm just taking a spatula and moving them around. I'm not stirring them, I'm just moving them around. And by the way, I took the chicken out. So we're going to put these potatoes back in for about 5 minutes. And I'm going to cover them up with aluminum foil. Now I want to show you the melted butter and garlic. Just let that garlic cook down in that melted butter. It smells so good. And it's on low fire. I'm going to let it come up to a little boil. And in the meantime, as I told you, I'm going to sprinkle some parsley flakes in there. So you don't have to put parsley flakes in it if you don't want to. And you can put as much as you like. Now, remember that was that was almost a whole stick of butter. It was actually 4 tablespoons. And it was about 7 or 8 cloves of garlic, fresh garlic. And I just chopped them up. So I'm going to let that simmer for a minute. And we're going to go over here to the chicken. Here's the chicken. It's done and it's still hot. I just took it out of that pan and transferred it into this pan. So I'm using this little flat aluminum pan. And I'm going to just pour the butter and garlic all over it. And then I'm going to mix it in this pan. I'm just going to take a spoon and mix it. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure all that garlic get in there. I'll be right back. So I'm going to take a spoon and just sprinkle it. I'm going to pour all this in here. Sorry for this noise. Okay. So now I'm just going to mix them up in here. Make sure they get covered with the garlic and the butter. Don't want to leave nobody out. Make sure all of them get some. So I'm using a spoon. I would usually use like a baster or something, but today we're going to just use this spoon. Now I'm just going to go off camera and just make sure that I get all of them covered. And then I'm going to come back and show you how I'm going to sprinkle them with the Parmesan cheese. And then I'm going to put them in a different container, a different plate. So I'll be back. I'm just going to keep on pouring the garlic and butter all over them. That's all you need to do. And you want to do it while the chicken is still hot. Okay, just stir it around. Make sure everybody get a little garlic and butter. And then, like I said, I'll be back in a few seconds. I'm going to just do this off camera for a little while, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I just been flipping them. So now I'm gonna add, not that in, the Parmesan cheese. Just gonna sprinkle that, and then I'm gonna mix this. I'm gonna flip them a few more times, and then I'm gonna plate them. Gonna plate them with the potatoes, and I also did some green beans, which is also on my channel if you want to know how to do the green beans. So now I'm just going to shake them around, take my spoon, so you just want to get them all covered with everything. Make sure they all covered. And you want to do this while they're hot, like I said before. I don't know how much Parmesan cheese to put on here. I don't eat cheese, so I have not a clue. So that means you put however much Parmesan cheese you want on yours, because BJ can't tell you how much to put on there. Boy, this look good. Okay, I'm not going to put any more. If he want more, he can add it when he get ready to eat dinner, because I don't want to overdo it. Okay, so these are done. I'm going to plate them. And as you know, we're going to give it a name. After I'm going to plate the chicken and the potatoes, and I'll be back. Okay, there it is. The chicken and the potatoes, and oh my gosh, it looks so good. Well, well, well. The name of the chicken is BJ's Pop Lockin' Parmesan Chicken. The name of the potatoes is BJ Red Roasters. Okay. Thank you for joining me. Rolling with BJ in the kitchen one more time. Man, this is a good one. Wow. That looks really good. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta sign off because it's bedtime for me. Okay, thank you for joining me. Rolling with BJ in the kitchen. As always, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share with a friend. I love you. God bless. Peace and blessings until the next time. Have a good evening.